All right, welcome back, Canon Collectors, to our final reaction for The Bad Batch Season 1. Today, we're going to be watching Episode 16. Now, I've been slightly spoiled on the title, so let's just dive into that and read the description. We are wasting no time for today's season finale. Not series finale, but season finale. Episode 16, Kamino Lost. The Bad Batch find themselves in unexpected territory in this thrilling finale, part 2 of 2. Exactly the same as last time. I'm fine with it. I understand why you're doing it. I am also a little confused why last week it just said season finale part 1. If episode 15's title was a error, or if that was how that was supposed to be, where it just said something along the lines of, you know, season 1 finale, season finale part 1, and then we got the surprise of return to Kamino while watching the episode. I think that worked really well. I mean, you can see my reaction that I was not expecting that. Now, today with this title and seeing this, we kind of know that Kamino's lost. Just to what extent? What's happening? How are the Batch getting out of this? Is anything left of Kamino? How much was actually saved from that planet and brought wherever they've been brought to, because we still don't know that. I'm hoping that we see a little bit of that today. So checking out our thumbnail here, I honestly can't totally tell what's happening. For a minute, I thought maybe Omega was underwater, but that's clearly some sort of glass breaking, I think. Are they underwater? And the glass breaking is to the outside of water? Is she in water and trying to break through the glass to get to somebody else? I don't know what's happening, but clearly Omega is gonna be alive for at least a part of this. So last we left them, they were very much in peril. So this is at least good that they aren't dead at the beginning of this episode. All right, so hopes and expectations for today's episode. While I have a lot, I also have none. This is what the show is really good at, is taking where you think you want it to go and giving you part of it while also not giving you the other part of it. A part of it that you weren't expecting, along with a part that maybe you were expecting, which just leaves your expectations completely dismantled. And I think that is a very, very good thing for not just this show, but for Star Wars in general. I think that's probably something they're consciously doing. So like I said, I have expectations for this. I would love to see more about what happened to the cloners, the Kaminoan cloners. I'd love to get some sort of big hint or reveal at, you know, Omega and why she's special. I would love to see the bounty hunters make a return. I would love to see Boba Fett get a bigger nod, a bigger intro into this. Obviously, Tarkin and Palpatine and Vader and all of those names come back up and we want to see them. If Rex showed up, I would not be mad at all. We have Saw Gerrera. We have so many people that we could pull back into this. I mean, God, let's just see Sid one last time before we close out this season. Maybe we'll go see her at the end of this. So there's a lot of things that I want to see. You know, I want to see a legit Stormtrooper armor. Do I think we're going to get any of this stuff? I really don't. And while I want to see a lot of this stuff, and I would love to see some big canon ties and ties to novels and other things, at the end of the day, I really want them to just focus on wrapping up this season and this story. I would love for them to focus on the Batch and Omega, and we don't have to branch out too far. We've touched on a lot of things, and we can save some of this stuff for season 2. But I would really like to feel a resolution at the end of this episode, at least for this season. You know, if we can't get some of these big things resolved, which is fine, I would really like just a little more of a hint, a little more of a wink, a little more of a nod to these big questions that we have, in hopes that they're going to answer them in season 2 and season 3. You know, essentially acknowledge if we aren't going to resolve certain things, let's acknowledge them in some way to at least keep us fans kind of in the, okay, like, we know you're going to get to it. We know you haven't forgotten about it. So big expectations, but also no expectations, which is why I don't want to dwell too long on the what could be, what might happen and even what has happened, because I feel like every week we have discussed a lot of that stuff. We have built up to this point for episode 16, which by all accounts, from everything I have heard, should leave us emotional at least. I am very interested to see what they're going to do with this. I'm very interested to see how they wrap up this season's story, how they progress it to next season, and what this means for the overall Star Wars canon. And I feel like we're going to get at least something today. Might not be huge answers. Season 2 might be some bigger canon ties, might be some bigger moments, but I have a feeling that we're going to get something juicy today. So let's hope. And let's dive into episode 16 of The Bad Batch, entitled Kamino Lost. Whew. All right, here we go. The Bad Batch. Kamino Lost. Here we go. Last ep of season 1. Take me on a journey. Woo! How do you get out of here? How is this possible? You know? Oh no. Oh! That is not good.
The cities have been destroyed, sir. All Kaminoan facilities have collapsed into the sea.
Very good.
He didn't sound happy about it.
The fleet.
That clone did not sound thrilled.
Get the door open, Tick. All compromised compartments are sealed to contain the flooding. I cannot override the protocols from here.
I can.
Yeah, Wrecker.
Get this off of me.
I love this music here. This is perfect. Wow, yeah, Omega. Yeah, just keep going, guys.
We have to go.
It's sad, but death is even worse. How do you get out of this?
Ironically, our old barracks is one of the few compartments habitable, albeit temporarily.
Look! We landed on the underwater tunnel.
Hey-oh, the tunnel.
If we use it to reach the base post, we could get back to the Marauder.
Accessing the tube would be challenging.
Better than staying here.
What happens if one of those pods comes racing through, though? You are toast.
We
Oh,
need to
boy.
go back. There must be another way.
That would be unwise. I am afraid this is our best option.
Yeah, something bad is going to happen.
I think we got a problem.
Easy. These tunnels are protected, right?
Only when the power is operational.
Oh, boy.
Which it
Is there like a
not.
big fish going to come eat him? Always a bigger fish. What is this thing? Like a dino fish. Yeah. Oh, he's like a weird big turtle guy.
What is this place?
Nalase's private lab. Omega says this is where our mutations were manipulated and enhanced. How would she know? Because she was there. Omega was created before us. Technically, she is older than we are.
Lay on some secrets here, peeps. What do we got?
That's gonna be a problem.
That tunnel was the only way to the Marauder.
It would seem that, once again, we are trapped.
Well, probably better there than they were before, so.
These medical capsules are our way out of here.
If our mass is evenly distributed, the buoyancy of these watertight chambers will bring us to the surface.
Can you guide us to the surface?
Barring any extraneous complications, I should be able to complete the task.
Things are not gonna go well for this little droid, I can tell you right now. Kaboom! Yeah, this is tough, man.
I can't see anything.
That is
Ew.
something.
Wow, this is tough for this little dude. One at a time would have been so much better. Oh! Bye-bye, Omega. Oh no. He's blinking. He is not gonna make it.
Omega, what's happening?
I got caught on some debris. It's okay, AZ's got me.
Oh no.
Don't give up. We're nearly there.
Your path is clear. I have completed my objective.
No!
Don't let go. There's room on this door for both of us. Ah, poor little droid. Yeah, I was kind of hoping he was gonna like join the batch crew here, but
I'm going after AZ.
Oh shit. That's stupid. What are you doing? I get it, but like, come on. You're gonna die, girl. He's heavier than you are. How are you gonna do this? All right, Crosshair. Way to save the day, boy.
I have a visual on the Marauder. I suggest we start paddling.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen Kamino like bright and sunshiny. Have we? Have we ever seen that before? This is weird.
It's all gone.
We should leave before the Empire's scouts show up.
You coming with us?
None of this changes anything. What?
Thank you for saving AZ.
Consider us even.
You're still their brother, Crosshair. You're my brother too.
Come on, Crosshair. Empire ain't gonna take you back, boy. They're not gonna take you back the same way you think they're gonna. Why would you not go with them? Stupid. Alright, where are we at here, huh? Yeah, there we go. This is what I've been looking for.
Mistress Nala Say, welcome. The Empire has big things planned for you.
She is not happy about this. Is that it? All right. Can I be brutally honest? I'm not impressed. I was not very impressed with that last episode. And I'm trying to, like, make sure that I'm not being a grump from the standpoint that, like, I did have expectations going into this while still not having expectations. But, like, did any of those expectations influence what I'm feeling? Like, we got a little bit of the Nala Say Kamino stuff right at the end there. And that's just more of what we knew. Sure, a lot of that could, maybe that will make more sense in Book of Boba Fett even. Who knows? I don't know if that, we could see that planet again for all I know. But man, I'm very underwhelmed. Honestly, very underwhelmed with that episode. It really just felt like them getting off the planet, and that was it. Like, it felt action-based, and that was kind of what I did not want. I like more story beats, and, like, we had a few Crosshair interacting with Omega, with Hunter, with Wrecker, with Tech. We just, like, didn't get any echo in this. I really don't even feel like he was in this episode much, to be honest with you. And so sure, we got some good moments there, but at the end of the day, it just did not feel like a finale. The last episode felt like way bigger of an episode than this one was. I think they kind of like blew a lot of their emotional sort of story beats in episode 15, which was great, but we really didn't get much in this episode. Yeah, I think as a whole, right, if we watch this as a 3-part finale, if we watch this thing as a 16 episode, episodic movie, yeah, I think that this works okay enough, but there's no heightened anything to it. Like, they literally just escaped out of where they were, and that was fine. And there was some good tension, there was some good stuff, but there was really no story moment that, like, captivated me. And it's not like I need a huge twist or I need something crazy to happen. I definitely didn't need big canon connections, but it just kind of felt like we escaped and then we're done. Like, all of that episode felt like it should have been the first act of this episode. Maybe they go to a different planet. Maybe they just have some crazy conversation with Crosshair, and they try to get him to come back, and a bunch of emotional stuff comes out. Maybe there's a little scrap, and then they go their separate ways at the end. Like, that probably would have been better to me, in that, like, they're working together this whole time to get out of there. It happens, and then they're just kind of both like, yeah, whatever. Like, this is no big deal. We're walking away. At the same time, though, I am happy that Crosshair is walking away. I'm kind of glad he didn't rejoin the batch. I think that there's a lot of story there for season 2. I think that, what's it going to be like when he returns to the Empire? Because the Empire doesn't care about him anymore. They just blew him up. They just tried to blow him up. Like, they did not care. And they actively thought that he did a bad job. Like, the situation got away from him earlier. Like, that was reported back to the Empire. Like, then they just said, blow them all up. Like, let them all die. It's fine. What do you think you're going to do now, Crosshair? You think you're going to go back? Yeah, sure, they may take you. But, like, you think they're going to even remotely respect you like they did before? Not even close. You're going to have to go on the run again. Like, you are turning into a bounty hunter. Like, there's no way you're not turning into some form of outlaw. I don't think the Empire is going to take you back. I don't think you're ever going to be a part of that, and you might as well have rejoined the batch. But I am happy. So there's a lot of story beats that I think that could move in that direction. We didn't really touch on any other story beats. We didn't get any other big characters or reveals, really. At the very end we got just a touch, and, like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But like I said, I think that there was some better things that they probably could have did between the Batch and Crosshair and Omega. I just feel very, very underwhelmed compared to some of the other episodes that we've gotten this season. This one felt like just the most lackluster of the bunch. And again, it's a fine episode, but compared to everything else, it doesn't feel that way. You know, like compared to everything else, like it's an embarrassment of riches. And then we got a mediocre episode right at the end here. Like it did not feel as weighty or as big as the mid-season episode of this show. So much bigger and grandiose than this episode did. And that, I think, is my problem, is you kind of want it to feel big. You want it to feel like a finale. And that just wasn't there. And an easy way to correct that is by giving us, you know, some weird Canon fan servicey nugget. And I am happy that they didn't do that, but like the stakes could have been a little higher in this episode, like they were in episode 15, which to me is just such a better episode. Episode 14 and 15 were fantastic. And honestly, if you just left me on the cliffhanger at the end of 15, I probably would have been okay with this. Like, I am happy to see where they are. I understand where we're headed for next season. But at the same time, like, this episode felt very useless. And I don't want to be too negative on it. Again, like, this was a great episode. And I think as 16 episodes, this is a fantastic journey to go on. But yeah, that extra next level stuff that you expect from season finales just really wasn't here. Season finales, season, you know, openers, and like the midway episode. Those are supposed to all be super, super big. And I appreciate what you're trying to do with part 1 and part 2, but part 2 was very lackluster. This is kind of similar to if you've ever seen the Hobbit trilogy, like that final movie in the Hobbit, whatever that movie was, that I literally fell asleep in because it's just a 3-hour fight scene. Like, this is kind of what this felt like. It was just 28 minutes of action stuff. There was a couple story beats and story moments, but nothing as weighty, like even remotely as weighty as what we got in episode 15. Like, it wasn't even close. AZ almost ate it. Like, that could have been cooler. I think that could have added a little extra level of emotion that just kind of wasn't there in this episode, but he saved too. So cool. We have a cool character for next season, which I'm happy about. We're gonna have Gonki and AZ. I think that'll be fun. Gonki is the R2 and AZ will be the C3PO. I'm for that, but like, we needed something else. The tear-jerking rumors, stuff like that, I think as a whole, sure, you know, these past 2 episodes were pretty emotional. I think watching them back to back will probably have a different feel than the way I felt, you know, than how I feel right now after watching Kamino Lost. But at the same time, I don't know. It just feels lackluster. This definitely isn't the worst season finale that I've ever seen from any series, because it does nothing to spit in the face of what we got before, right? So it feels in line. It feels okay. It feels like this is a decent way to wrap up this story, but I think there was an extra level that we could have gotten. And again, I'm not saying fan servicey stuff, even though I wanted Boba, I wanted bounty hunters, Vader, Palpatine, any of that stuff. And those would have been the cheap ways, I think, to get the pop, to get the recognition, to make this episode a little more fun. If they would have gave us that, then at least you would have had that to talk about. But really, what is there to talk about at the end of this episode? They made it out of Kamino. Everything that we, you know, discussed last week is still relevant. There's no movement on anything. There's no change to kind of the state that we were in the last episode, other than what's going on with Crosshair. Even the Kamino and Nala Se stuff, that's pretty much what we expected. The Crosshair thing could have went either way. He could have rejoined the Batch, or he could have went on his own, and he chose to go on his own. So those are the only, like, that is the only thing that's really different than last week. The Batch are gone. They have AZ now, which isn't a huge, huge addition, because we kind of figured that maybe where they were going with that last episode. And Crosshair's on his own now. So all of the questions still remain. Nothing got answered. Nothing more got answered. There really wasn't even many new questions other than what is Crosshair going to do? And where are the Batch going to go? you know, what is their next play? But even then, right, that's not even totally a question, because I feel like we'll go back to Sid. We'll go see Sid again, you know, and we'll deal with that stuff. We'll go work for her. We'll go hang out with her. Or, you know, if you wanted to get rid of Sid completely, well, maybe they go see Rex. Maybe they go join whatever he's got going on. Those questions are answered. Like, obviously we know that Crosshair's going to attempt to go rejoin the Empire, and that could go one of two ways as well. But like, I think we know how that's going to go. Probably not that well, or they'll take him back and it's just not going to go that well for Crosshair, and he's going to want to flip back, and probably at the end of season 2 we will get Crosshair back. All things I've been thinking of, you know, and I think a lot of people have been thinking from the start of this show, trying very, very much to not have a negative day and negative reaction to this, because again, I'm not that mad, and I don't want anybody to think that like this is an upsetting episode, because it's not. I just felt like they could have utilized this and done a little bit more with it, and not from an expectation standpoint, not from a throw me some fan service stuff. It just felt like the emotional conversations that we've had, the emotional journey that we went on, or that we could have went on in this episode. There's so much you could have done with that, and I really don't think that they capitalized on that. I think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. You know, to a certain extent too, like, why were we even on Kamino for the rest of this episode? To me, there was no reason that we needed to be on Kamino. We were back in the Nala Se's lab, and I thought maybe for a minute that we might find something. There might be either something that's going to answer a question, or something that's going to pose a new question for future seasons, or something to tie into the rest of the wider canon. We didn't get anything. We had a prime opportunity to do that again, because we were going back to a location we've been in, and I thought we were going to uncover something that we didn't see the first time. And we didn't, and we just kind of left. And like, there was a good opportunity to do that. So if you're not going to take that opportunity, then why else were we there? Get him out of there. Put him back on the ship. Crosshair finally wakes up when they're in some other location. Do sort of an interrogation, sort of intervention, you know, episode. Really try to get down to the nitty gritty of what's going on, and trying to flip him back and give us some answers on when the inhibitor chip got pulled out of him. Like, you literally could have done an entire interrogation episode that would have given answers to not even huge questions, but just small questions, and it would have felt like a resolution. It would have felt better. Whether he decided to join or not, you would have come to the realization of, okay, like, he's going to rejoin the batch because this is a cathartic experience, and he's getting all of this out, and they're finally talking and discussing, and, you know, it teaches great family values and morals that we have to talk things out and talk about our true feelings and be honest with ourselves and be honest with our loved ones. And or this, you know, and maybe he doesn't turn back. Maybe he continues on the same path, and at the end of all of this, they all realize that, like, this is who he is, and he's not going to change. And that's they just have to walk away at this point. Leave him on whatever planet, do whatever they feel is right, you know, get out of there. That could have been so intense and so much more emotional than just an Indiana Jones style escape from Kamino. I don't know. It was fine. I just think there's definitely bigger things you could have done. This is still okay. This is still all right. I'm not mad. So I am very, very hopeful for what they learned from this season, what they're taking away from it. This first season was super, super rock solid. Tighten up that last episode, man, and you have a perfect season, in my opinion. It does everything you want it to do, everything you don't want it to do, but was intended by the creators, by the showrunners of this series. Hopefully this is how they want me to feel at the end of this series. I don't really think that was totally the goal, but I think that this is something that they crafted. They did this on purpose. Looking at it in the context of the full season, I think it works, and looking to next season, this all could work really well. Looking at all of this material as one sort of long form story. While I'm slightly disappointed by this episode, I am not upset in any way, shape, or form. I think that this was a decent way to wrap this up. I think it functionally did what it needed to do. I think the rest of this season has been absolutely fantastic. The show has been great. I really have no major complaints out of my few sort of nitpicks and improvements that I think could have happened in this final episode. So that's pretty much it, guys. That is the final episode of this season. It's sad that we are wrapping this up, but it's been 16 weeks of this, and it's been good. Like I said, I'm excited for the next season, but I am happy now that we get to go back and rewatch all of these episodes as one sort of piece, as one piece of Star Wars storytelling. And I have not run through all of the episodes in order. I mean, I can finally do it now that I've seen the final episode, but I haven't even binge watched everything leading up to this. So my next plan here is to run through all of this stuff again and then see where I'm at with this show. I would really love to sit down, watch all 16 of these episodes, run through them in as much, succession as I can, talking about the season overall and what I feel, and maybe on second viewing of things where we could be going in the future. So I want you guys to stay tuned for kind of a season wrap-up video where I go back, rewatch everything, come back to you, and kind of tell you my thoughts, my opinions. And I want to know your opinions as well. So make sure down below in the comment section to leave us a comment. Let me know what you think. Did you like this episode a lot more than I did? Am I being too grumpy about this? Are my expectations getting in the way and I'm trying to convince myself that they're not? Tell me what you think personally, and tell me what you think about what I think. As well, if you like this video, you want to see more of these reactions for the next season of The Bad Batch, for the Book of Boba Fett, for all of the shows coming out, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, the Cassian Andor series, what else is coming out? Visions. You want to see Vision stuff? Like this video, and that will let us know that you want to see more of these Star Wars reactions. As well, if you want to make sure that you are up to date on all these videos, including the Season 1 wrap-up, and all of the plot summaries that we do, and the future reactions, make sure to subscribe to our channel as well. And turn on your notifications too, so that you are notified when those videos go live. And if you're on other social media, make sure to check us out on Instagram and on TikTok at Canon Collector and The Canon Collector. It's been so good to share these past 16 episodes with all of you. It's been a lot of fun putting all this stuff together, and I can't wait for the next show to come out so we can do all of this stuff again. We really appreciate all of your love, all of your support, all of the new subscribers, all of the likes, all the comments, everything that you guys have done for us. We really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more reactions from the Canon Collector. As we always say, may the spires keep you, and may the Force be with you. See you all next season.